session. All right. So we are now recording. I finally get my act together and we'll continue. So we are using Google or Zoom breakouts. And when you use Zoom breakouts, and I'll stop sharing for a second here. And where's my stuff? Okay. So basically a breakout is a smaller segment of the larger group, okay? That you can identify as many as you want to go in that group. It can be, if you wanted to, you can do pair and share. You know, you can break it down to that small. You can set up a group and manually move someone in there if you want to. Say the whole class is working on something, but you want to talk with one student at a time and have a conversation while the bigger group is working on their own stuff, right? You can have them do that, and then you can just pull in individuals, different individuals, and do that. So you can create these manual groups and just bring people in one at a time. So you have choices. You have lots of different choices. You can create an automated group. So I basically say, I'm going to set up 4 rooms. Hit go, and everybody gets dispersed to their rooms, and then I can go visit them. Or I can set up manually the groups that I want. So, for example, say prior to this class, you already have groups. You've identified these 4 people are going to work together. These 4 students are going to work together. These 4 are going to work together. So one of the strategies you can do, they would already know what group that they're in, and you can ask them to rename themselves, just like I mentioned earlier, that they pull up the participants window, and next to their name, they can rename it. And I would suggest that they rename it with, for example, Catherine, that she's going to be in group 1. She would write 1-Catherine Ianello. Okay, so add the 1-. The reason is the participant window is sorted alphabetically by name. And so if all the folks that are in group 1 are named 1, they get grouped together, and it makes it easier for me to manually add them to the group. And then folks who are in group 2 would be 2-, and they'll be able to group. So that is a strategy. Just have your students rename themselves if you have permanent groups. Now, for an automated group, it doesn't matter. It will just randomly grab somebody, throw them in a group, and you go. But if you want, they have to work on a project collectively together, I would have them just rename themselves with that number dash, then their name. Does that make sense? Clear as mud? Okay. So the host can visit each group. They're allowed to do that. They can all bring, you can bring the students back into the main room when you're done. The nice thing about groups is it creates kind of this social pressure that, you have 3 to 4 people. I expect that you do something. So you can use the groups for a lot of different reasons. So last week we talked about polling. And so I have a poll, and maybe I have a split decision. And so what I can do is do the think, pair, share, but maybe have 4 people in a group, send them away without showing them the results of the poll, send them away to discuss that question. And give them 2-3 minutes to discuss it, bring them back, re-poll them, and, kind of go that way. So that is, a strategy you may use. It could be that they have a deliverable. And that's what we're going to work on. We're going to actually split you up into groups. Hopefully I pair you with people you like. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. So we'll just throw you out, let you work as a group, and then we'll kind of bring you back, and I'll come visit everybody, you know, as part of the group and say hi, but you will have a deliverable. So you may have them working on a document together, and this is where I recommend a Google document, or a slide deck, or a spreadsheet, or maybe they're doing coding or something like this, that you can have them go work on these projects. But, you know, there's some recommendations that I'll talk about later, but if you can have them have a deliverable when they come out of the group, that is better, that you want to be able to do that. And it can simply be building community. So first day of class, you can multiple times have them work on, you know, some kind of icebreaker activity where they're going out, introduce themselves among 4 people, and maybe you have some questions where they have to learn something unique about those individuals in that small group, and then pull them out of that group and then put them back into another group randomly with some other people. And this allows them to get to know each other a little better than trying to do this as a whole group. And, you know, you may have different people introduce somebody, you know, as you bring them to the bigger group, right? So ways of building community. So early on in your discussion, you know, when you're putting them into breakout sessions, if they don't know each other, add a little buffer time where they introduce themselves to each other before they work on that major activity, right? So they can do both at the same time, but give them a little buffer so they can say hi to each other and learn a little bit about each other. Kenton, yes.
This is a quick question about Google and what's happening at GCC. So at Fredonia, every single student, as soon as they're enrolled at Fredonia, they get a Google address.
Yes.
And all my email through Fredonia, I log onto my email. It's all through Google, every bit of it.
Yes.
So whenever a Fredonia State student is sending me stuff, it's super easy to share because we're all in that apparatus together.
Correct.
Do JCC students, as soon as they become enrolled at JCC, do they get a Google account as well?
Yes.
Where can I find that? Because I'm using Outlook as my email, but Fredonia's is through a Google. I don't know where I get my email that is Google, so that I can be talking to them in that format instead of using Outlook.
So in Blackboard, when students use the email feature in Blackboard and send you a message, it will go to your Google account.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, but Blackboard is not an email system, so things don't go back and forth. But if they send you something, it'll go through there. In order for you to check your Google account, which you have the Google Suite attached to it, you go to that link, myjcc, sunyjcc.edu/myjcc, and
okay,
you will have an ability to go check your Google account and email.
Okay, and I've been there many times, and so when I go there, quick question, I should be doing most of my work from that particular email, and because that's how I'll be receiving most of the email. And because I'm going to try to streamline with all my JCC students that they're all using Google Docs, that they're sending me, everyone's sending me the same stuff instead of getting a screenshot or a Microsoft Word thing. Just try to streamline all of the output that they're going to show me. That
in my mind sounds like a great plan. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks.
No worries. Yeah. That's what we're here for. Here to help. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to break you guys up into a group, different groups here. Let me make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay. And this is what I want you to work on. So make sure that you write this down before you go into your group, because you may not see it again. Just the first part, the first link here. So it's a bit.ly link, bit.ly/Zoom2A. All lowercase, Zoom2A. So you're going to have a number when you go into your breakout room. You'll have a number for your particular room. And it'll be 1 through 4. So find the slide that is going to correspond to your breakout room. I want you to introduce yourselves. You probably already know each other, so it'll be quick introductions. And one success you had this summer, right? I want to know what was successful. If you had a crappy summer, I don't want to hear it, right? But I know you had one success, so I want to hear that. And then kind of fill out the rest of the slide. You're going to have 8 minutes. I will warn you at the 7-minute mark when it's time to come back and join. And then we'll have kind of go around the room and have somebody report out on your particular group. So I will also pop in real quick to say hi and do that. So let me throw up the timer. Make sure that we have 8 minutes set on there.
Stan, can you share that link again, please?
Which link? The link that you were supposed to write down? Yeah. bit.ly, bit.ly/Zoom2A. Oh, wait, and I'm not sharing my screen. See, that's what you wanted to know. Okay, sorry. Hey, I am trying to model the best I can of what's going to happen in your class. Okay, so these are great examples of, hey, I don't see anything. Oh crap, let me show that to you. So I am doing the best I can to model exceptional instructor performance, right? That it will not go right no matter how hard you try. Okay, so everybody got that? Okay. I see some head nods. Head nods are good, right? All right, let's go ahead and break up into your groups. So what I'm doing, and unfortunately I can't show this, but we'll show you a video real quick, is on my little toolbar, I have an option under the more, it says breakout rooms. And so I click on breakout rooms, and I am assigning this to 4 rooms. I'm going to do it automatically. It's telling me that I have 3 to 4 participants per room and to create the rooms. So now I have created the rooms, and every room except the first one has 3 people in it. The first one has 4. I have some options. I can move all participants into the breakout rooms automatically. I'm not going to do that right now. And I can set the timer. I can have breakout rooms close automatically after 8 minutes or whatever minutes I want to set. But I'm not going to do that either at this time. So I'm going to open the rooms, and you should be able to join your room. So I want you to do that at this time. And folks are rapidly joining their room. Okay, Sibby, did you see a link to join your room? Okay, Sibby, I'm going to move you to the room. Oh, wait, hold on. No. So you should have seen a link pop up saying join the room, and just click on it. All right, Sibby, what do you see? There we go. Woo!
Is that what you see or no?
It doesn't, so you're telling me just to, so I'm in Google, so I just did a search through Google. Is that what you're telling me to do?
No, so that link he gave us, if you know, at the top of your screen, if you open up another tab and you type it in.
Yes, which that's what I did.
What it does is it takes you to a document, a slide. And so it asks for the participants. I guess we're supposed to fill it in.
Okay.
You are correct.
Okay, I see it now.
All right, so who wants to fill it in?
I'm trying to figure out how I can see both at the same time. Can
Well,
I?
what you could do is you could share your screen and somebody could share that so everybody could see it. I mean,
Yeah, Stan, the problem is we can't figure out how to share our screen because it's not like it normally would be.
so if you mouse over the screen, you're not able to click on the green thing that says share screen?
There, I did it.
Okay.
Got it? Okay, perfect.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so participants.
All right. I'm gonna
So
leave you.
My,
While she's typing, I'm true.
If we need to.
Hey, hello.
Hey, here he is.
We got somebody new. Who's that guy?
Oh, well, we can't hear him.
Oh, he has his mic off.
Yes.
Well, let me unmute. Hi, guys. So
Hello.
what questions do you have for me right now?
We don't know where the slides are or how to find those slides.
So that link I gave to you, did anyone write that down? The bit.ly link /Zoom2A?
Yes.
Okay, so you bring up a tab in your browser and type that in.
Okay.
Okay.
Oops.
And then, you know, if someone brings it up, you can actually share your screen and then share that so everybody can see it, and then go ahead and type in it. So. See, I thought it was good that we experienced this, so that way you know exactly what your students are going to get into.
Oh,
Okay. Slide. How do you use? Okay.
wow.
Okay.
So to share your screen, you mouse over this window with all our faces, and then at the bottom, share screen. So one of you should share the screen, and then you click on the window that you wish to share. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to leave you guys and go to the next group.
Okay.
fun.
Great. Thank you.
So you lost somebody. Who did you lose?
Heather Metzger.
Heather. Oh man. All right. So in the group, if you want, one of the things that you can do is share your screen, and that way everybody could see it, right? And then as you're typing things in. But I think you guys were doing fine on the typing in thing. Yeah.
So Stan, I saw some guy down by the lake with a video camera talking. Somebody was watching him on Sunday, I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably me.
Okay. I thought it was ABC News or something. ABC
No,
Sports.
no, I was out creating a video. So
All
all right.
right.
So one of the things, you know, like I said, one of the strategies is to share your screen so everybody can see it, and you know, that may work or not, depending on what you're doing. So, all right, I got to go visit the last group, and I'll see you guys shortly.
So I'm teaching probably the most at-risk students that we'll have at JCC, because I'm teaching the pre-algebra class. I have 2 sections of pre-algebra.
Gotcha.
Those students, you know, they get lost when we're in class face to face, following instructions and staying on top of things. And so I need to try to figure out how to make it as simple as possible, but still engaging. And, you know, I'm sure that'll be weeks worth of playing with things and trying different things till it works.
Yeah.
Hi guys, just popping in to say hi. So you guys are my pros. You already have the screen up, you got it shared, you guys are kicking butt. So very cool.
Stan, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm gonna hopefully have an embedded tutor in my pre-algebra classes.
Right.
Can my embedded tutor, if I put the students into groups and I have my embedded tutor in there, can the embedded tutor also have the ability to jump around from group to group?
Yeah, just make them a co-host.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, I got to go warn everybody that we are leaving. So I'll be leaving. Welcome back, folks. 6 seconds, we should get everybody else back too. All right, very good. Woo! Well, welcome back. I'm glad you guys made it. So let me ask, raising hands, when you raise hands. So what did you learn from this experience? Things that you need to keep in mind when you're going to do it yourself, being on the recipient end. In other words, what could I have done better going into this thing? So please raise a hand, and I'd love to hear from you. Don't make me call on people. All right, Kenton.
Why the link?
Why? Which link?
What was the link that we had to type in so we could see the slides? and,
Right.
and put the input in there. It seems like that's an extra step. And would that be something that if I was doing these groups together, if there's any way I could eliminate that for my student didn't have to get that link and type it in, or share it with them in a way that they can just click on it and they immediately go there as opposed to typing it into the browser?
So you're saying I should have just shared the link with you as opposed to typing it in?
Possibly.
Yeah. Yeah. I could have done that. Great suggestion.
I don't know if we all got in. Like some people had problems typing that in. So I mean, we had the super group. No, we had the super group.
Everybody managed. Everybody managed to get in there and type something.
Yeah,
So,
we got something in there.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Catherine.
I actually had the same thing as Kenton, and I did screw up typing in the link, and
Okay.
because I put a capital A. So, but could you just do that by putting the link in the chat box?
Absolutely.
If
Yep.
you just type the link in the chat box, that makes a clickable link, right?
That would make a clickable link. Absolutely. Matter of fact, for the next time we do this, I will do exactly that. Hey, I am learnable, right? I can figure these things out.
The other thing though is about that is, so, because I don't use Bitly or whatever the heck that thing is, but you could just do that with a Google Doc, right?
What don't you use?
I don't, you know me, I'm not a tech person like this.
Oh yeah, that was just a Google Slides.
It was a Google slide. Well, why was it a Bitly link? Like what's that mean?
So if I just share the link, right? If I had to have you type it for whatever reason that I didn't follow Kenton's suggestion of typing the link like that, it would look something like that. And trust me, you could probably screw that up worse than if I ran it through Bitly and made it a more usable link. So that's why I use Bitly to give you the link. But I could just share this. This is just harder to remember. I can remember going to Zoom 2A. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, great point. John.
Were all the participants, are they all able to write in that slide?
Yes.
How?
That's the magic of Google Collaboration. They just click in it, and if you go to that particular slide, you can click and start typing in. Yes.
So everybody in the breakout room can type in the slide.
Yep. And so for this particular slide deck, right, and that's why I said you had to know which breakout room you were in, is there are 4 identical slides. There was 4 identical slides that you could put content in, and I just created places where I wanted you to add the content. How do you plan to use breakout rooms, things like that. And everybody, provided their input except what made your summer great. Yeah, and then just provided that particular input. So it could be done with a Google Doc. If you're working with, like Bill uses, doing accounting, he may be using spreadsheets. He can create a spreadsheet maybe with a different tab for each group that they can go in and add data or whatever to a particular spreadsheet. So that is possible. So all I did was create one slide, duplicated it, and just numbered them so you could find them later.
And that type, slide 4, how do you plan? That stays in there? You don't eliminate that type, that writing?
This?
That deletes, does it?
Yeah, if I wanted to, I can delete it. Right? But, folks, ideally, they manage to add their names. They manage to put it in the right places. Yeah, there's, you got to kind of control that a little bit, but this is where you kind of learn on what works and what doesn't. So some of the things that will help make your breakout rooms more successful is, one, give them something meaningful to do. Whatever the activity is, it's got to be tied to your objectives. It has to be meaningful. You know, a clear task that you want them to complete, have a clear deliverable, right? If you have something that they're actually building, the odds are that they will work on it. And then set a time frame. You know, how long is this activity going to take? Is it going to take 5 minutes? Maybe going out and responding to a poll question, getting everybody's input? Or is it going to be a 30-minute project where they're building maybe a slide deck or they're building a document, depending on, you know, what your class is responsible for? And like I mentioned earlier, if your students don't know each other, buffer some time in there just for introductions. Let them have an opportunity to build that community and get to know a little bit about their fellow students, because it's harder to do than in a face-to-face class where, you know, hey, oh, didn't I see you over at the student union? You know, we don't have that type of opportunity. And, you know, this is part of that college experience, is getting to know your fellow classmates. Did everybody see the warning that I put in? You know, saying, hey, you got 1 more minute before you're done. So that is that's useful. Lisa.
Well, I have a lot of questions, and I'm with Catherine. I'm not a real technology person, and so you're using language and terminology that is not familiar to me.
Okay.
When you talk about using the Google Doc and going through Bitly, I have no idea what that means. I have no idea how to make a Google Doc. I don't use Google. I use Microsoft Word and I use PowerPoint. And so I don't know how to use those things. And then if I were to know how to use them, I don't know the next step then, how to take them and make them a Bitly that would be more accessible to students. So there's and I couldn't even ask those questions until now because I don't know what I don't know.
Well, there you go. Now we have things to do.
I've been teaching online for years, but teaching online is a very different thing than teaching through Zoom, you know, with regard to the being synchronous, asynchronous, and wanting to bring life to the class.
Well, one, I think, in my personal opinion, switching to Google Docs will open up your world in all kinds of positive ways. Just my opinion. Now, there's reasons why you want to know the Microsoft Office suite, but when it comes in terms of collaborating and allowing students to work together collectively on, you know, documents together, Google, I think, just makes life so much easier. Okay. The other thing with Google is, you know, I don't know if you've ever put a syllabus up there and, you know, put it into Blackboard and then realize, oh, I didn't update the dates and I got to go do the dates. Now you got to take it out of Blackboard and then you got to re-update it in Blackboard. Well, by just linking to the Google Doc, you just make the changes and that's all. Right? So for those administrative type things, that's wonderful. Bitly, I think I have a link on our website how to do Bitly. I mean, that wasn't necessary. I mean, that's kind of like a BOGO, right? It's buy one get one type thing. That I introduced that as a kind of a mechanism, but it's not necessarily about, you know, breakout sessions. So that's one of those things like, oh, I got to figure out, you know, learn to do Bitly. Let me shoot him a question and, you know, I will make sure that I get an answer to you. So not necessarily something I'm covering right here. So
is there a training on the use of Google Docs?
Yes, matter of fact, it's part of that summer initiative. So there are some LinkedIn learning courses all about Google Docs that will take you to the stratosphere in terms of this. So, okay. Great questions. Now time to move back to Catherine. All right. Catherine?
Trying to remember my question, Stan.
It was a great one.
It was really good, and it was relevant, and it was powerful.
All right, I'll let you mull that
Mull
over.
over
Throw your
that.
hand up, and we'll come.
Oh, wait, I just remembered it.
Oh.
So so I need to give Lisa, the psychologist, some stuff to work with here. When I'm doing group work, sometimes with my students, I'm overhearing them and when they're getting stuck or whatever, they raise their hand and they go, hey, can you help us? So when they're in groups, other than me popping in, is there any way that students can raise their hand in the groups, let's say, to get my attention, to bring me in their group if they need help or whatever? Or is it really not possible? Like, we can raise our hand in the chat function here.
I honestly don't know. I don't know.
Because it's such a good question.
It is a great question. That breakout group that we just did, that was the first time I ever did it.
Ah.
Right? So I've never done breakout groups before.
Sam, there was a key at the bottom of the breakout group that said ask for help.
There was?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Okay, well, we'll do this again and we'll go look for it. So very cool.
Thanks, Pat.
All right, so other things, ideally try to provide a slide with instructions before they go into the group, right? To have some instructions so they know what they're expected to do, how long they're going to be there, all those other things. Keep groups manageable, 4 to 6 people, don't get past that. Make sure that you go visit, or if you have the luxury of having a tutor, have them go visit, but make sure that you pop through and have some kind of report out when you're done, that folks can share what they've learned in that particular session. Talked about Google Docs already. And once again, if you're using Google Docs, you can share that slide and kind of walk through each group in order to do it, okay? All right, here is what I would like you to do using Kenton's stuff, right? What I want you to do, this is a short video. This is actually going to show you all the process that I did behind the scenes. So I'm going to have you watch this real quick, right? It's less than, I think, 5 minutes, maybe at the most. And it explains a lot of stuff. And it's kind of important, but you can save this chat later and refer to it. So please take a moment. Everybody is muted. Good. Go ahead and click on that and watch that video. And then when you get back, give me a thumbs up reaction type thing to let me know that you're good, or, or put something in the chat and let me know that you're there. Okay.
Where's the video?
The video, there's a link in the chat.
I couldn't get it to work, Stan. It just flashes on and off and then it just quit. So.
Very good, Shannon. I'll just let you watch it at a later time. All right, is everybody good to go? It was just about a 3-minute video. So that's what happens actually behind the scenes. And there'll be a link to that, so you can always go back and check out the video later. I'm sorry that some of you had some issues. Plan for them. You know, just have that opportunity, you know, put the link, you know, into your learning management system, have it available for them later. But if it's something you want to do in class, you know, set out time, share the link, and allow them to do that. All right, let's we're going to do another breakout session. Once again, I'm learning from what I did. So this is the screen that I'm sharing. So basically the same idea, kind of a slide that I want you to go check out. I am going to actually put the link here so you can get to it ahead of time. There you go. See, I'm learnable. I can do these things. Catherine's got this grin like, very cool. Okay, so I'm gonna let you get to mingle with some other folks here. And so I'm gonna create some breakout rooms, recreate them, and you get to meet new people. Maybe, I don't know, it randomly did it, so we'll see. Okay, this time I'm just giving you 5 minutes. So I'm gonna open all the rooms and go ahead and join your rooms. Come on, Catherine.
On it, can you type on it?
So if you are,
Yeah,
great question. So when it's being displayed, through Zoom, individuals cannot type on it. They actually have to open it up in their browser in order to type on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you are sharing the screen, right?
Sorry?
Because she's sharing her screen now,
Yeah,
right?
it shows she's sharing her screen. So in the upper, what's the option here? There should be a way to change the size of this. View, so up at the top, view options, you can exit full screen. So that'll allow you to see your browser window. And then you can go to the browser and enter into that document. Great question. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Well, thank you for inviting me in. I know it works now. Well, welcome back, everybody. I missed you. Hey, so one of the things that I did learn, Sibby was kind enough to invite me into their session saying they needed assistance. And sure enough, it got this big alert saying, hey, join that room. And so that worked very good. So, Catherine, I know the answer now. Yes, it works. So, very cool. So, talking about this, when you would want to do manual versus groups, lots of good reasons, right? To make sure that you balance out the level of learners, you know, that would be a reason to do it manually. Intentionally to assign people together, or intentionally split people from each other, right? So each works. The automatic just works tremendously quick. I just say, here's the number of rooms, bam, you're in your rooms, and you get new friends every day. Kind of balancing out the different skill sets, right? Depending on what type of activity you're working on, you may want to have some type of balance between different types of skills based on a survey that you may have done earlier in the class. You know, randomize for introduction, right? Get to know new people all the time. Control, that must be Catherine. I'm thinking, okay. Yeah, so different opportunities, let people know those type of opportunities. So very cool. So that kind of gives you a feel from your perspective on how breakout rooms work. There was another piece that I wanted to talk about is that sharing of work, right? This is an opportunity for students also to share work with you. as part of the class. So this is a little separate from breaking folks up in groups, but I think it's also another important section that I'm not going to touch on in another video, but being able to have your students share their screen or share what they're doing can be also very valuable in your class. And so I shouldn't have looked at the chat, sorry. So here you have an opportunity. So, for Bill, they're doing stuff in QuickBooks that you can have a student show what they're doing and how they're doing it. It could be addressing a problem, or Amber, doing a math problem. Different ways that you can do it. You can actually have them share the screen, or, that they can pull out a blank piece of paper, and hold it up to the camera, a little bright light there, and they can, maybe work this out and kind of describe what's happening. Or, if they got a portable whiteboard, they can certainly show that. If somebody is, languages like Teresa, having them unmute and speak right in front of the whole class, like we would do in a normal class, having them, explain whatever it is. So you have a lot of different options that students can share their screen, right? So like I've shared my screen throughout this presentation, that they could forward content to you ahead of time, and maybe that you did a warm, kind of talk to them ahead of time, say, hey, you did a great example of this. I want to present this in the class. Would you be able to describe it? That's another way that they can share. Showing right through the video camera, right? So if you're a musician, that you can play right here. Or, here, I want to tell you about a wonderful book, talking about microlearning. So I'm showing you something through the camera. That is, different ways that you can do it. And then there's also a feature where it's remote control, that you can take over somebody's computer, right? So say it's doing computer programming, and you have them bring up their code, but now it's, the code's not working, but you want to use that as an opportunity to troubleshoot. And so you can basically remote control their computer. They have to give you permission, right? It's not just like, hey, I want to take over Teresa's computer right now. You can't do that. They have to actually give you permission. But from there, it's like I'm working through their computer, and I can maybe troubleshoot code or something like that. So different ways that you have done it. Who, if you go to your participants window, raise your hand if you have never shared your screen in anything. Oh, don't be bashful. Everybody's shared. You've shared at least once. Okay. All right. I was gonna have you share your screen, right? We should play a game. What's in arm's reach? That was a fun game I played the other night, called Within Arm's Reach. You picked up a device and you had to describe it, and other people had to guess. Kind of a nice icebreaker. So they did not guess what I had. So, yeah, and then like group work. At the end of the group, you could have whoever the team leader is report out for that particular group. I mean, the exact same things you would do in class, you could do it. There's an equivalent that you could do in Zoom. So that is a little bit about group work, and talk about sharing work. What further questions do you have? You can raise your hand, or in the group chat, toss something out there. Kenton?
Yeah. What's the next Zoom session on?
What is the next Zoom session on? Let me
I
find
found
out.
this very beneficial. It's certainly you get to see it from the student point of view. I mean, I was always doing it from the host point of view, and it was really helpful to see where you can kind of get lost at times with the different tabs open and stuff. Super helpful. So you know, for this kind of getting ready for the fall, you know, mandatory training, I would love just to keep doing Zoom stuff because I'll be doing a ton of Zoom, and I want to be as proficient as possible.
Well, I could not be probably a better host on how to make as many mistakes as possible to demonstrate what possibly could happen in your class.
Yes.
So
yes.
I did what I could to help you excel, right? Let's learn from my example, right?
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's better to make the mistakes here, right, than to make them, you know, on August 30th.
Yeah. So the next Zoom session is actually just on presenting, you know, through Zoom, right? Being able to, you know, do these things where you're sharing your screen, where, you know, and some of the pitfalls that come with that. I think it's kind of a rather basic one. The fourth session is actually getting into annotating, you know, using whiteboards and different ways that you can do that. But you know, I don't know. Yeah, we'll figure out how to do this. But yeah, and I'm gonna just continue to encourage. I have just purchased through somebody else's credit card 90 more Zoom licenses that I'm going to start distributing. Right, so you will get a Zoom license. I encourage you to set up a practice session. Practice with me. Call me up and say, hey, I wanna try this out. I mean, I don't know Spanish, I don't know math, you know, I mean, but you can still try it with me. And I'd be happy to do that. Or with your colleagues, right, who know your subject and say, hey, I'm trying to do this, right? You understand your students and what the pitfalls are with your students. So, you know, that's how you try. So Catherine's gonna bail on me. All right, Catherine, but you wanted to say something before you left, and then I'll get to Lisa. Be nice.
So that was, I kind of typed it out. I was wondering if we were going to get any practice Zoom sessions through ITV in the ITV classrooms for those of us that are flex Zooming.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Zoom set up for the folks that are doing flex that'll have classrooms. The week that you come back, you will have some sessions to show you how it'll work, but it's pretty darn easy, I think. So, but you'll have an opportunity to do exactly that in practice. But there's a lot of other things, being able to switch between sharing and not sharing. Honestly, even though I had a written plan, you know, it requires some thought ahead of time when you're going to do these things to make it a little more fluid. So, Lisa.
Yeah. So a couple of things. I had sent you some messages last week. Was there a Marcia that was with us last week? Somebody last week had mentioned that they had the basic Zoom, and that link that you keep sending us about training for Zoom, it says on it that the basic free account would probably be adequate for a class. And that's not true. The basic Zoom account, you will get kicked out after 40 minutes. And I was looking at the settings on that as well, because I had asked you to screenshot your settings to me, because when we were looking at it, the settings for Pro and Basic are different. There are things in Basic that are locked that you can't change at all, and you can't do polling on Basic. So we do all, if people think that they can go with their Basic free account, they're going to have to switch to the Pro account. And then my question to you is, you know, so as an adjunct faculty and early in the summer, there were lots of emails that were coming, and I'm not always looking at my JCC email because I lost my class that I was teaching this summer and had no reason to be checking in. So I see you sending lots of emails about training opportunities, and they have links for those training opportunities. What is the general website or address that I can go to that actually shows me the list of all of them, rather than I seem to just be following this link to go there and that to go there, but nowhere have I been able to see kind of the clearinghouse or the warehouse, if you will, of all the trainings that are available.
As far as all of the trainings, I probably don't have a good link for that, because a lot of the messages were tailored based on a survey that folks had put out. And so I don't have necessarily all of it, but here is a link to, you know, where a substantial amount is being shared, and I try to weave things in there, most things. So that's a good place to get a lot of what you're looking for. So, and for everyone, where you've typed your chat messages, just above that, it says the to and everyone and file. There's 3 dots. There's a button with 3 dots. If you click on that, you can save the chat. And that allows you to save the whole chat from today. I think that's, you know, sometimes you share links and it's like, where is that link again? So that's where it is. Okay, anybody else?
Stan, I sent a chat about incoming students. Are they getting, and I got an email today that Corey and 2 others from the Learning Center are setting it up, but are all students receiving training on Zoom and breakout sessions, or are we to instruct the students on how to be a Zoom student as of August? How are the kids supposed to know that for incoming students?
Well, some classes use Zoom, some classes don't use Zoom, some classes use Blackboard, some don't use Blackboard. You know, a lot of that is up to the instructor.
The email today said Corey and the 2 women from the Learning Center were setting up something for incoming workshop for students.
Yeah, they're working on a project.
Right.
I have no idea what's in that project. So,
but I mean, I have to go through like you did with Breakout during a class to see if they can get into the right room and learn how to.
Well, fortunately, you know, so, you know, and I can go hunt this out. You know, it's every piece of software that somebody uses in their class, right, normally has tutorials with them.
Right.
And, you know, Zoom is no different on how to, you know, use this from a student's perspective, and that are available, right? I don't know every single piece of software. I mean, this is a, you know, probably a common one, and it's probably good if I went and collected that, and I will put it on my massive to-do list of
that one email,
other things that
the one email you sent for instructions is a good one, because he goes step by step,
right,
from the very beginning of Zoom.us, you know.
Right.
That one's been very helpful.
Yeah. So
they can't do polling in the basic.
I am well aware of this. You know, but there's probably 80% that you can do with no problems, just to get a feel for how Zoom works.
Okay.
As I said, I have gotten pro accounts, and I will be issuing pro accounts. Okay. And we'll be getting those out there, and then you'll have the capability to do pollings and other things.
They did lift the 40-minute on the basic because of the COVID-19 situation.
Yeah, that's probably not a true statement. It's for K through 12.
Oh, right. Okay.
So,
not for college.
Not for folks that have deeper pockets like colleges.
I see. Money. Okay. Hey, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, they're one. the fact that we actually can use Zoom as much as we can for free, I think is great. But, you know, they got to make a living too. So
what happened to me today is at 1:50, a storm blew through Chautauqua, Mayville area. So I lost power. So I didn't see you for the first 20 minutes. So what's the best way to communicate with students the quickest? They'll know I'm off, but, or if they lose power, I mean, just.
well, yeah, that's a great question to say, you know, have a contingency in your Blackboard session to say, in the event of a snow day,
right,
you know, we're doing X, right? I mean, those are things that you do in a face-to-face, like we can't be there, so we'll do X. The same thing here is, you know, if in the event that internet fails or, you know, Zoom session fails, power goes out or whatever, expect to go to Blackboard for further instructions and then put an announcement out, hey, you weren't, you know, sorry we dropped, but this is what I wanted you to do, and do that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Very good. All right. Anybody else?
Can I have one more quick question? I don't know who all has
Sure.
taught.
You probably should unmute first.
I see people were leaving. I don't know who's taught on Zoom before, and so as I'm setting up my Blackboard course for this class, where would be the best place to put the Zoom link, do you think? In each
Probably on the
module?
left-hand menu.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But if you're
So-
going to use the same address, you could work with Corey Dunnigan
Thank
to
you.
have that integrated into your class. So
That would
ask
be
her.
great.
And
Okay.
there's a way to integrate that.
Perfect. And so then when they enter the course through Blackboard, they can just click that link.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Thank
You're welcome. Okay, folks, if there is nothing else, have a wonderful day. Bye.